Hi, and welcome for joining us today. Thank you. I'm here with Nick from Mac Mortgage, and we're here to talk about appraisal waivers. So I think the first question that I have for you, Nick, just really simply is, what is an appraisal waiver?
All right, well, good question. So an appraisal waiver allows the borrower, to actually forego the appraisal process. And the way that process works is that there's an aggregated amount of data that comes through whenever we do a direct underwrite through our automated system that we use. And when I say we, I'm talking about the mortgage business in general. Every lender is going to be a little different, but I know that when I go in and do an appraisal waiver, essentially I see if it's eligible, and they're looking at data based on the last 6 to 12 months of sales that are in a certain geographic area. And if those sales match up to where those homes are comparable to what you're purchasing, a lot of times the appraisal waiver comes through, and basically what it's saying is there's enough data supporting the value that you're under contract for.
So what I hear you saying is that, like, as me as a real estate agent, if I have a buyer who wants to make an offer on a home and they are pre-approved with you, potentially that home and that buyer could qualify for not having an appraisal done on the home, which we could write into an offer, potentially to make their offer more desirable. Is that right?
Yeah, and the reason they do that is that it's property specific. So it matters what the address of the home is, because we can't run that unless we've done a full credit check and a full application with the client. And typically you got to have a 700 or better credit score with a conventional loan. And we're looking at 20% down. So if you do 20% down or more, in some instances, I know with our refinances, we've had it with as little as 10%, but I've not really seen much of that on purchases, more 20% or more. We run the file, and then if I get it's a nice green check mark that shows that the appraisal waiver has been accepted or is eligible, then we can actually take a snapshot of that to show the client that's selling the home that, we don't have to go through an appraisal, and that this offer that we're putting forth, that value is pretty much guaranteed. With caveats, of course, the appraisal waiver can expire over time, but we want to make sure, it's a pretty good shot going forward.
Yeah, no, that's great. I think that we've seen appraisal waivers in the past, and I certainly, before talking to you, didn't really know. I hadn't really seen them back yet. So I know there's not a lot of lenders out there really utilizing them yet. And as a real estate agent, I think that's huge for buyers that we have that want to make an offer on a home that has multiple offers. Instead of bringing an extra, $10, $20, $30,000 in cash, they can potentially qualify for that. So that's huge. So, I think that's a great buying tool that people aren't necessarily aware of, which is why we're talking today. So you kind of gave us the quick version of that. Of course, there's caveats. Of course, everybody's situation is different, but is there anything else that you think we need to know about appraisal waivers and possibly qualifying, or should we just all call you?
I mean, yeah, I'm happy to discuss them on a case-by-case basis. I've had situations where the buyer has gone under contract with an appraisal waiver, and then later on, inspection issues may come up, so therefore they fall out, and then they go to another house, and that appraisal waiver doesn't apply, even though it's right down the street. Every house, every situation is going to be a little different. But I'd also just understand that when it comes to the appraisal waiver, if you're worried about the home actually appraising for the value that you're offering, one, you've got a great tool with Sarah and any realtor you work with. They've already probably drawn up those comps, those comparables, to see that the offer that you're making is going to be within the market value. But the other part is if you're worried about the appraisal, not happening, like a physical person going out there and doing the appraisal, you still have all this aggregated data that's been compiled. Now, while I can't take all the data and present it to you in a big, thick, 150 page document, I can at least go through and show you that by having the appraisal waiver, that these values are indeed at where you're, right around that neighborhood of where you're talking about. So, there's a little bit of solace in that. I've had people ask me if they want to go ahead and do the waiver anyway, or do the appraisal anyway. If you do the appraisal and you already have an appraisal waiver, the waiver goes away immediately as soon as you order that appraisal. So it's a good thing to know that you have the option, but I'd say 99% of the cases, the waiver is going to be your best option.
Yeah, no, I love that. Well, thanks so much for talking to me today. And I'm going to drop your contact info below so everybody can reach out to you to get more information about that. And that's a huge tool. And certainly being on the listing side of things, to see those come in, it makes it makes the seller a little more easy about taking an offer, that there's one less hurdle they have to jump through. We've already agreed that the price is the price. And it's just, it can make your offer stand out in a crowded market right now. So thank you so much. And hopefully we'll have some people reach out to you and get some more info.
Yeah, happy to help anytime. Thanks so much.
Thank you.